called him a bandit.
Season 5, Episode 1 recap. It all comes back. I got a bunch of messages saying, well, I've been getting them. Not just now, like they've been coming in like, why is it taking so long to come back with Season 5? But shit, a motherfucker be busy. You know, I've been working on music, you know, doing shows, acting, traveling, and the most important, I think like the most time-consuming one is just been with the family. You know, but the good thing that the shit's going already. We dropped episode 1, crazy feedback, you know? And, you know, I do this for the gangs in my surrounding area. Because, you know, basically they went through the same type of violence, you know? They went through the same type of situations, you know? They had the same relationships with their homies and their hoods and their, you know, their interactions with the police and just like the whole community, the environment, you know. So I do that for them because those are the ones I know. I don't really know what it's like in other neighborhoods, you know, but I'm sure it's similar, you know. But in my area, it was fucking cracking. So and watching it, well, that's something that you know, living it, like seeing it, living it, fucking interacting with it. You know, it gives you a different perspective, you know what I'm saying? So in the episode, I talk about basically hood parties, you know, and what they were like, you know, and for the most part that I could remember, they were fun. Honestly, to see my homies dancing and with my homegirls and a gang of the homies that didn't dance just in the back clowning, others just fucking plotting, you know. It's almost like how people go out now, you know, they go out for dinner, they go to a comedy club, they go to the movies, you know, they do shit that's like kind of civilized, you know, but us, we would go to these fucking parties and that's all we had, so, you know, we'd make the best of it. I've even been to neighborhood parties that are not even in the neighborhood. They're in fucking some other gang's barrio or even my fucking enemy's barrio, you know what I'm saying? And we just be pulling up deep, like homies will be fucking double parked up and down the whole fucking street, and then instead of like going inside, we'd be posted outside, and then like small parties of homies, we'd go out to the fucking corners, like the nearest corners, start fucking hitting up. If they was the enemies, we'd whack them out, boom boom, cross them out. And you know, sometimes they catch wind that we're right there and they'd pull up and retaliate on us, you know, for even, you know, that's disrespectful, you know, throwing a party in their hood. And sometimes it would be like that because some of the homies' parents lived in enemy neighborhoods. So the homies, for some reason, they're like, yeah, fuck it, we'll throw a party right here. I don't know, we was reckless. There was a lot of reckless shit going on back then, you know? You know, when you're young, you don't give a fuck. But, yeah, Season 5, Episode 1, even my daughter that's in high school right now, she sends me a text message with a little emoji, the one that's like crying, and I put a question mark, like, what's up? What happened? And she's like, I'm in my history class. There's a little crew of kids huddled up listening to your podcast. And I'm like, what season? Or what episode? What are you hearing? She's like, I don't know. I just hear like little music, and they're all like into it. You know, this is high school, so high school kids are fucking with the podcast, which is cool, you know, because not that it's to fucking turn them out and influence them to go do some shit, you know, to try to like do it like we was doing it, because maybe they've heard these stories from their parents, from their uncles, from their, you know, whatever, you know. But yeah, this season, you know, I describe a lot of cars and you know, in those days we would caravan deep, you know, whether it was to cruising, car shows, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And describe how we dress, because nowadays fools don't dress the same, you know? Some homies do, but for the most part, shit's different. Including myself, I don't dress like that. You know what I'm saying? I left that look behind when I touched down in Mexico. So far, I hope you guys have enjoyed Season 5, Episode 1. I got a lot of messages saying that it was dope that I featured Venom in it and Bandit. You know, because fools don't really get to hear from Venom a lot these days, you know? Yeah, I miss hanging out with Venom. He was a funny motherfucker. He loves to clown. You know, that always been my road dog, you know, since we were little kids. I think he was the first fool I ever smoked weed with, you know? At the beach. I'm not sure if it was Venice or Santa Monica, but I remember getting high with that fool for the first time. And then like we mentioned about like how in the hood we have like cliques of homegirls, you know? You know, I remember, you know, growing up, there was the Little Town Girls, the Naughty Toys, or they were just homegirls that were from the regular hood cliques, you know? The West Side was crazy. For reals. Not to put extras on it or anything like that. Like, if you know, you know. The fucking West Side was crazy. And, like, the surrounding areas, too, you know, like, for instance, like, once we crossed Figueroa that way, it was like the East Side. You know, like the first gang there is like the Ghetto Boys. And then you go over here to the left, you know, you got the Primera Flats. And then you had 29, Clanton, 36. Bunch of gangs out there, you know, Local Park. And keep going that way, like 38. And on this side, like one big street separated us from Pico Union area. That was Washington Boulevard. And there's that whole Westlake, MacArthur Park area, you know, K-Town, Mid-City, and so on, you know. That MacArthur Park area is fucking active as fuck. Like, I just remember going there since I was a fucking little kid. You know, my parents, you know, we were poor, so me llevaban al Piojito. It was this fucking store where they sold all bootleg, made in China type shit, made in Taiwan type shit, like fake La Tigres, and, you know, that's where they would buy you your socks and all that shit, el Piojito. Y es donde venían todas las pinches micas y fake socials. And it was always like there was always like hustle right there, you know? And then later, you know, it became a fucking major dope spot, you know, like crack and carga and de todo, you know? Ahí esa madre, ahí encuentras de todo, you know? For the most part, you know, in those days, even in these days, no gang got along with no gang. I've mentioned that before. And that made it kind of easier, you know? If they ain't your homies, you just light them the fuck up, you know? You ask questions later. So, you know, basically this episode, I started off, you know, just describing the way things were. In the next episode, it's going to start to get a little more intense. You know, it all comes back. It all comes back as a song. I'm sure you guys know it. So this whole season, like, I'm describing the times, an important person from my hood getting killed, and the many wars that ensued after, you know? To this day, like, shit ain't changed. Like, shit's still going on. It's different though, but, you know, it is what it is. So stay tuned. We're getting ready to drop Episode 2, Season 5, Inside a Sinister Mind podcast.